Live breaking news, Elon Musk posts a drug test that he took. I don't know if you guys remember this or not, but legacy media outlets, specifically the New York Times and the Wall Street Journal, posted a story that Elon was on drugs. It was very libelous and defamatory a few months ago. Well, guess what? Elon has taken a drug test and he's posted the results, and I have them for you here today. Also, sit back, relax, grab your favorite snack, your favorite beverage. Your boy Nez has you covered. We got a lot to discuss. Senators Katie Britt and Josh Hawley call out the coward Democrats for not showing up. They didn't even show up to the hearing to call out whistleblowers on Biden's cognitive cover-up, the second greatest scandal in American history. The first is the 2020 election. Absolutely. And I shared that video of Kash Patel, the FBI uncovering new evidence. If you missed that, you got to go check it out. It's on my channel. I can't wait to play for you these clips that embody everything you need to know about the Hippocrats and a whole lot more. Also, the divider in chief, the fomenter of division and hate, former disgraced President Obama, back in the news, saying to his followers, if you will, that there should be a new social media ministry of truth. Orwellian, dystopian overtones, very dark, very ominous. I'm going to share for you the clip of that as well. But first, check out the latest border numbers. Our beautiful, glorious, intelligent, smart, diligent White House Press Secretary Caroline Leavitt sharing these beautiful numbers that I know I voted for and I know you voted for. Listen to this.
President Trump's powerful efforts to secure our homeland are working. According to newly released numbers, last month, Border Patrol saw a 93% decrease of illegal aliens crossing the southwest border between ports of entry from May 2024 under Joe Biden, when they encountered more than 117,000 illegal aliens. And this particular statistic is absolutely astounding. In the month of May, under the Trump administration, 0 illegal aliens were released into our country by Border Patrol. Let me say that again. Not a single illegal alien was released into the interior of the United States of America last month under this administration. Let's contrast that to Joe Biden's failed leadership, where immigration officers were wasting their finite time and resources processing dangerous illegal aliens for release into the United States. President Trump immediately terminated that reckless Biden-era practice that undermined the rule of law, jeopardized public safety and our national security, and diverted critical resources away from stopping deadly drugs and violent criminals from entering our country.
Just lovely. Isn't that just fantastic? Isn't that amazing? Isn't that exactly what we voted for? Again, nobody's against immigrants. The whole new talking point that they must have gotten from the Soros, Obama, cabal, Holly weirdo, Clooney's, etc. is, oh, these are immigration raids. You got this preposterous, brain-dead mook, Mark Ruffalo, going all over media, legacy media, etc., and saying, Jimmy Kimmel, all these people should all be deported. Saying this is a travesty. They're going after immigrants. Of course, this country is built by a lot of immigrants. Absolutely. My parents were immigrants. Legal. They did it the legal way. And as a matter of fact, by a lot of these self-deportation, President Trump, what a visionary thing to do with Tom Homan. They instituted this self-deportation app and this opportunity for them to, these illegals to self-deport so that they can use the right processes and systems through port of entry and actually come in here the right way, the legal way, is actually a force of good, a beautiful benefit to them and the United States of America, because then they have to pay taxes. Then they can't send all the money that they make, which is illegal, back home. It robs our economy and a whole other ridiculous ramifications to our beautiful country. Never mind the fact that these criminals, these drugs, rapists, murderers, etc., have been given carte blanche, a red carpet by Biden and Kamala. I think tribunals are in order, but that's a whole nother story. Next. So Elon posted this on X today saying the Wall Street Journal and New York Times fake journalists, quote unquote, lied through their teeth about me. Now let's see their drug test results. They will fail. And you can see right here, let me zoom in here a little bit. So you'll see this is from a reputable drug testing company, i3 Screen. I've done it myself too. I've had to when I was coaching Little League for my son. And you can see here on the bottom there, and this is all posted on X, every single drug, you can see the result, negative, all down the line. What I love about this, I know there's been a little bit of dissension amongst the ranks with Elon and Trump and everything he said. I was upset at him too. I was actually really pissed off at him. And I think when he apologized, I think I was validated. But this just goes ahead to prove these corporate press, propaganda, media outlets, they will stop at nothing. It is the reason why we have so much violence that is wreaking havoc across American cities. These ridiculous, they're not protests, they're riots. Riots, destroying police property, city property, looting, attacking law enforcement officers, throwing bricks, burning cars, patrol cars. And now they want to say we're not seeing that. They actually had the audacity to call them peaceful protests. This is just more proof that all of those networks, CBS, CNN, ABC, NBC, etc., they're all full of it, and they are the media apparatus for a very left-leaning faction, period. Do I have to even say it out loud? No, I don't. We all know the truth. So for our next story here, there was a hearing on the cover-up of Biden's cognitive capacity. Remember how they told us he's sharp as a tack, he's sober, he's astute, yet Smokin' Joe saying this is the best, most intelligent, sharpest Biden I've ever seen. And F you if you don't believe that. I mean, their consumption of hatred for one man, our president, President Trump, it's completely blinded them from any sense of objectivity in journalism, period. Watch these two clips that are so powerful. The first one is for our man from Missouri. You love him. I love him. Senator Josh Hawley. Watch as he calls out these cowardly rat Democrats who didn't even show up to get answers for this major U.S. scandal. The second biggest scandal in American history next to the 2020 election, because there's no way in a billion years you can convince me that 81 million people voted for a vegetable. Watch.
The visual, sometimes it really is true. A picture speaks louder than words. It's worth 1,000 words. And here, all you have to do is look over at this side of the dais to see that the stone wall continues. I mean, from the party that lied to this nation for 4 years. Let's just take a look at some of the things that our colleagues said on the Democrat side when their own Justice Department was concluding that Joe Biden, who, let's not forget, illegally took classified documents and kept them in his garage, in his freezer. I mean, Lord knows where. He just certainly didn't know. Their own Justice Department interviewed the guy and concluded he could not form the requisite mental state to stand trial. He did not have the mental ability to stand trial. And what did our Democrat colleagues say? Vice President Harris says, oh, no, the way that the Hur report characterized the president is so wrong. The president's demeanor is totally fine. Senator Smith, what the Hur said about the president not remembering his son's death, so unfair. Senator Kaine said this is grandstanding. Senator Fetterman said it's just cheap shots. You had other senators saying, Senator Ossoff in February of 2024, saying, and I quote, I found the president to be sharp, focused, impressive, formidable, and effective. In June 2024, Congressman Jeffries insists Biden was, and I'm quoting again, incredibly strong, forceful, and decisive. Where are they now? They don't want to answer for any of those quotes now. They lied to us for 4 years, and we know they lied. They know they lied. It's why they're not here. They don't want to answer a single question. They can't bear to show their faces in public.
That is extremely telling. You can see there on the left-hand side of your screen, Josh Hawley pointing over to the right. Not one single hypocrite has any decency, any courage, any backbone, any guts to show up. And you know what? It's crazy because their approval rating is below 18%. It's reaching single digits. You know what would improve your absolutely abysmal approval rating, Democrats? is if a couple of you showed up, kind of like what Senator John Fetterman's doing right now, and just apologized to the American people. Just said, you know what? We effed up. We made a mistake. We were wrong. He shouldn't have been there. We're going to do everything we can. I'm not saying that we're going to forgive you. I'm not saying the American people should forgive you. I'm not saying I should forgive you. But I guarantee you, running like a rat that you are, running like a scared little chicken yellow belly like you are, like a big gigantic phony like you are, isn't going to help. Republican Senator Katie Britt really encapsulates what I'm feeling, what I think a lot of you guys are feeling. Listen to this powerful message. Watch.
This is incredibly important. I mean, you look at what the administration did, you look at what the Democratic Party did, you look at what the legacy media did. It is absolutely inexcusable. It is not only dangerous, it's disgusting. And the American people deserve better. And the fact that we have none of my Democratic colleagues over here, that this entire dais is empty, that what they allowed to happen, that they are not interested in correcting it for the future, is absolutely mind-blowing. And so when we're looking at what Joe Biden did while he was in office, you have a disastrous withdrawal from Afghanistan. I mean, leaving equipment, leaving allies, changing the way the world viewed us. You look at an emboldened Russia, Iran. You look at what happened, obviously, with China and those conversations with Joe Biden. You look at millions flooding across our border. You look at a ton of unaccompanied children coming across, hundreds of thousands. You look at hundreds of thousands of Americans dead because of fentanyl poisoning. You look at record high inflation. Who was in charge? And the fact that not one Democrat colleague can show up and try to get answers to that, I hope the American people see that for exactly what it is.
We do.
And so my questions to you is, how do we prevent this in the future? So we know that the 25th Amendment in the 1960s, we take a look at that. Section 4 was purposefully vague to allow for some flexibility.
I sit here before you, and I'm reminded of my mission with this channel, with this company, with our goals here. I mean, not to sound too highfalutin, but, you know, the mission is to make common sense go viral. I was doing this because I love America. I'm not right or left. I'm really not. If I had to define myself, it would be I'm a constitutional centrist. I love America, period. My kids, I'm doing this for my kids, my grandkids' grandkids. I want them to grow up in the America that I grew up in, the America that made sense. Everything that they did to cover up for this vegetable, all the decisions that we still to this day have no idea, goes to show you that whenever they attack ICE agents, whenever they attack Trump, whenever they try to muster up any kind of architected narrative against this current administration, the cabinet members, the military, law enforcement, anybody who's not, you know, on their side, it is a mere distraction from this egregious crime that deserves a tribunal. This is the greatest crime against the American people that I can, it makes Watergate, I've said this many times, it makes Watergate look like, you know, stealing a Now and Later at a 7-Eleven. A petty misdemeanor compared to this. It is so grandiose in scale. It is so alarmingly harrowing, dangerous, scary, and absolutely destructive to the Constitution, to the framework of our country in every facet. The lies, God knows how deep they go. The consequences of having a vegetable in chief are so immeasurable, absolutely immeasurable. It needs constant, it bears constant reminding. And now you've got this guy. This guy actually has the balls, the temerity to go in front of people, his followers, cameras, and now say that, you know what, we can't have people outing us. It's basically, he's directing it at media companies like me, independent media. We can't have people sharing the truth. Because by sharing the truth, same thing that NPR CEO said, the truth is an obstacle to what they do. It's just they're saying it out loud. Watch this clip of disgraced former President Obama. It's mind-blowing. Just watch.
Part of what we're going to have to do is to start experimenting with new forms of journalism, and how do we use social media in ways that reaffirm facts, separate facts from opinion. We want diversity of opinion. We don't want diversity of fact. By the way, it will require some government, I believe, some government regulatory constraints around some of these business models in a way that's consistent with the First Amendment, but that also says, look, there is a difference between these platforms letting all voices be heard versus a business model that elevates the most hateful voices or the most polarizing voices.
How do you define hateful,
or the most
schmuck?
Dangerous in the sense of inciting violence voices. And that I think is going to be a big challenge for all of us that we're going to have to undertake.
Last I checked, the only people inciting violence are the people that follow you, buddy. The only people that are burning and torching law enforcement vehicles, throwing cinder blocks, looting property, attacking law enforcement, burning down cities all across America, assassinating political figures are radical leftists. So who's fomenting the violence? Who's elevating hate? And now this guy wants us to believe that the government knows better than the American people. This is the literal antithesis to what the framers wanted. This is a direct rebuke to everything our founding fathers imbued into the Constitution and the framework for the birth of the greatest nation that ever existed. What Obama is essentially saying, we know what you should be exposed to. You don't. You don't have the intelligence, the critical thinking, the critical discernment to decipher what is truth and what isn't truth. You guys are idiots, so we're going to do it for you. No, thank you. That's not free market. That's not free enterprise. That's not the American way. That is a direct attack on the First Amendment. This is not communist China. You're not a Bolshevik. We're not a country of Bolsheviks. This is not a socialism, not even close. This is why this channel exists. After everything he did, at the very tail end of the 2024 election, he propagated the Charlottesville hoax. There's good people on both sides, which was completely taken out of context, which is a complete fabrication, which is 100% fake news, so lazy in its application that I was even shocked. Even for Obama, I thought that was low. This is why this channel exists. Because they're never going to give up. You would think that he would hide in a cave and never show his face again after being snuffed out for that lazy lie. They're never going to stop. You've got Ghetto Crockett, AOC. You've got shiftless, dickless Swallows Well and Ratty Raskin with the plugs in his hair. And everybody, Schiff. They're never going to stop. So we can't stop. The fate of our country is at hand. The stakes couldn't be higher. Again, I've said this many, many times. The battle was won on November 5th, 2024, but the war is far from over. And you know how you can help? Tap that thumbs up if you love America. It doesn't cost you a thing, but it helps us out immeasurably. You can even do it on your remote with your TV. Just tap that thumbs up, leave a comment, share this with everybody that you know. Check out these videos coming up on the screen right here, just in case you missed them. Tap my face right there to subscribe and follow. It's free. We also have our free newsletter in the pinned comment and description. This is how you can help us. Please help us. And as always, God bless you and God bless the USA. I'll see you soon.